thank everybody for showing up today. We're going to cover our custom solutions group as part of a service offering at HM Cragg. My name is Kody Schultz. I'm the business manager of the custom solutions group. So without further ado, we'll get through the presentation here and hope everybody enjoys. So to kick off the presentation, we're going to talk a little bit about the brief history of HM Cragg, not the brief history, but a brief history, and then go over the details of what is the Custom Solutions Group. So as HM Cragg, we've been in business for well over 50 years now. We started off in power and critical power as a C&D Technologies battery rep and service organization. Since then, we've kind of evolved into focused on the critical power electronics and the battery side. So in 1985, we added AC backup power with UPS. At that time, it was Excite Electronics, which, you know, eventually through history had been acquired, and now we know them as Eaton. Back in 1998, the ESOP was established, and that is program that HM Cragg offers to its employees. We all have employee stock ownership within the company, so it's a great benefit to working at HM Cragg. And then back in 2004, we sold off our motive power business, focused mainly on power quality backup solutions, and less so on that motive power dirty type business. 2006, we became the master national distributor for Eaton UPS products. And then in 2016, we started our acquisition cycle. So we bolstered on additional territories to support our standby battery product and service sales with the acquisition of Ash Battery out of Kansas City and Nebraska. Then with Standby Power System and Consultants in the Chicago area. And then in 2017, we were actually appointed the Generac Industrial Generator Distributorship in Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, and we've grown that pretty substantially over the last few years and even doubled down by acquiring TW Enterprises out of Montana. So in these last 50 years, we've grown to be about 165 employees. We operate 4 distribution centers across the US. Minneapolis is the main distribution warehouse, but we're supporting national sales through our distribution reseller partner network. And we have offices in each of these locations that we made the acquisitions. In terms of values, HM Cragg operates on 6 core values. These are things that we talk about every day. We live by these values, and they're not just, you know, words that we put up on our website, but those values are safety first, create and innovate, strive for excellence, serve others, do what you say, and together we are better. We feel that by operating by these core values, it makes us a good business partner to work with. In terms of HM Cragg's distribution business, we represent quite a few product lines, primarily being Eaton and Tripp Lite. So we are leading with Eaton UPS on any opportunity. We are exclusive to Eaton UPS, so if there's a project that we are selling UPS through the distribution channel, it's going to be Eaton UPS. Now with the Tripp Lite acquisition, we have access to the smaller single phase UPS line. But what we're primarily looking at as a benefit from Tripp Lite is the racks, the rack PDUs, cables, connectivity, and kind of all of the other equipment that goes with a power quality type sale. And then beyond Eaton and Tripp Lite, we do have a few other product lines that fill a few holes that Eaton and Tripp Lite can't meet all the time. So Stako for UL 924, when it's outside of the Eaton product offering. We have high or wide temperature UPS with Falcon. We have custom UPS or traffic UPS with Marathon Power. Think Alpha UPS systems, that's across for that. And then we have precision cooling with Stultz and a few other manufacturers. And then we start getting pretty unique into Zone It that offers a nice little automatic transfer switch, locking power cords, unique power distribution. And then C&D is our primary for battery distribution, but we do have access to all of the large players when it comes to DC batteries and DC power solutions. So with a general overview of HM Cragg out of the way, we can start going into our custom solutions group. So CSG Custom Solutions Group, we specialize in creating custom power solutions for unique power challenges, and we approach it every single design with the intention to build a system that is unique for that customer's individual business and practical needs. So we try not to sell off-the-shelf products or try to incorporate different standard products that we think will work. It's always going to be that unique approach of making sure that the system that's designed and built is exactly what the customer requires. So to accomplish this, our team studies the power sizing, runtime requirements, environmental factors, and space considerations. This way we can design the proper enclosure to provide optimized, highly efficient package, primarily around the NEMA ratings of those outdoor or industrial enclosures. And that is our main go-to process for supporting our channel with the Custom Solutions Group is outdoor industrial type applications. But there are a few other types of services that we offer that are not necessarily into that industrial outdoor, but are still a value add to you and your customers. So this is the team. Like I said, I'm the sales manager, or the business manager of our Custom Solutions Group, and we're kind of separated into two groups. One focused primarily on sales projects and engineering, generating and supporting interest in these services. And then we have our manufacturing group, which takes all the projects that we put together on paper and builds them into reality. So this team has grown pretty significantly over the last 5 years, and we're continuing to see growth in those areas. In terms of the commercial and engineering support you could come to expect from our CSG group, we do offer Teams calls on any project to discuss project details with you, potentially with your partner, to uncover the correct information that we would need to put together an accurate proposal. And when it comes to those proposals, we do offer detailed quotations, which will include a list of materials of the main componentry we'd utilize in an integrated solution, as well as the description of work we're completing in the factory, so that we can have that good line of division between what is the factory supporting for assembly and what are the field requirements for the end user to install the turnkey system. We're providing the system design, and we'll talk about all the details of that in a little bit here. And when it comes to supporting an individual project, where we can offer the product data sheets, concept drawings, and project examples with both images and videos of a vast library of media we've taken over the last decade and a half of projects that we've built. We feel that this creates value for our partners as we come in as an extension of your relationship with your customer and your partner as the subject matter expert when it comes to UPS or DC system specification, enclosure designs, HVAC sizing and selection, and we deliver the highest amount of attention to the CSG type projects, just for the fact that we are not really sharing resources on support staff. We have dedicated project management team, we have dedicated sales quotation, we have dedicated engineering and dedicated manufacturing staff that only focuses on these custom solutions. And one of the differentiators we feel with everybody in our group is that we have an on-site installation mindset. So we will do everything to avoid cutting corners, just to make it that much easier for the on-site personnel to have an easy job to install these systems. And one thing worth mentioning, we do not sell to end users. A lot of these custom projects, the specification, the needs are driven by the end user, obviously, but we are always working with our channel partners and our reseller partners to support their sales in the technical and manufacturing capacity. So when it comes to a proposal, this is an example of what a quote might look like. So like I had mentioned, we have a list of materials, the products that would be utilized to build the final system, as well as the scope of work or the steps taken for us to assemble it. What's unique is we offer a complete system part number for these solutions. We identify that with an HMA number, that's HM assembly part number, at which point gives us an identifier to what is this system, what does it entail in terms of materials, who's the partner we have established with the project thus far, and what is the total system price. And what we encourage our partners to do is leverage Eaton and Triplight's deal registration program. This gets us everything we need on the front end to offer the best value on cost for the products that we can. But in addition to utilizing and leveraging that Eaton and Triplight deal registration, we do offer pricing protection for our partners that bring a project to us. So we do know there are situations out there that exist where an end user might require multiple bids for the program to be successful and to be awarded. So we use the example of partner A brings us a project, we develop it on their behalf, address an HMA number to them, quote it out, and then we see that same HMA partner come back from a different partner. So in order to support those projects that require multiple bids, we will quote the other partners, but we do offer a 22% price protection on any subsequent quote of that HMA number to the partner that didn't bring it to us originally. So that is a stacking discount or pricing protection in addition to the deal registration. So you'll have that 22% protection if you're the first one in and helped us develop the solution, but also below that, you would get that deal registration discount, which we could not offer to any other partners. Some examples of engineering documents we would send over. So we are working in SolidWorks, so all of our design drawings, both on the commercial support and application side and the manufacturing side, are in 3D. So we can offer the 3D models via step files or export them to kind of that flat view 2D PDF. Either situation or either option is a good way to kind of present that value to your customer and let them know this is roughly the dimensions we're looking at on a custom solution, and is really, we feel, very powerful in terms of presenting a proposal for a custom solution if they can envision what the system is going to look like at that proposal phase. So beyond the commercial and engineering support, I want to go over some of the actual products that we're developing and building day in and day out. So I'd like to start with our outdoor UPS systems that we're offering in standard configurations. These systems are outdoor rated, NEMA 3R through 4X. They're UL listed as a complete system under UL 508A, and we have offerings from 700 VA up to 20 kVA, again, in those standard configurations. So these outdoor UPSs are built, ready to deploy. We have a lot of the materials on hand, so the intention is to have all of the design already done. We have all that in our libraries already, ready to quote very quick, as well as having the materials and the manpower to build them very quickly too. So we're looking for very quick turnaround projects with these standard products, and we feel like we've got a broad enough product offering here to address a lot of the outdoor single phase UPS opportunities. So the enclosures we utilize here, we do have HM Cragg standard enclosure designs, again, that we leverage, NEMA 3R 4X, which is stainless steel, and we have size offerings from 7 RU in height up to 42 RU in height. And again, these are standards. We can go outside of all of these specifications, but these are the ones that are going to be that quick turn. We're utilizing Eaton's 9PX and 9PXM product architecture. So think of anything that's double conversion online, that's 4-post or 2-post rack mountable. That is our product offering when it comes to the standard configurations. And then we also include the cooling, lighting, hydrogen sensing and mitigation, and power distribution that's required to build a turnkey outdoor UPS system. And then when we go beyond the standard outdoor UPS systems, we start talking about really the essence of CSG, which is custom opportunities. Like we said, we're going to look at every opportunity as unique and build a solution strictly tailored to that customer's needs. So a lot of our standards originated from this process, but we'll go over kind of all these different service offerings that we offer. So these project-specific services can include basic assembly, what we'll call rack and stack. We have power system integration, which is UPS or DC systems in our standard outdoor enclosures. We have engineered solutions, which are in any aspect not standard. So we're developing custom designs to build that system. And then what kind of wraps everything all up is our UL 508A factory certification. So any of the UPS DC power distribution systems that are utilized in a NEMA UL listed enclosure for industrial controls or outdoor type applications, we can self-certify to UL 508A. So to go through these different types of services, we'll start with the kind of more simple side, the more basic end, which we offer network card programming and installation. We do bundled kitting of products in our warehouse. Just think of that little bit extra, would you like fries with that type of sale on any given UPS project. And then a little bit further down the complexity is rack and stack. So if HM Cragg is selling a triplet enclosure with Eaton UPS, rack power distribution, blanking panels, KVM, all of the ingredients, right? We do offer services to have that specific IT rack system pre-built in our factory. And it could even go as far as if a customer required that they wanted to have the servers or switches or any networking equipment installed along with the UPSs, we'd gladly take in that customer supplied equipment and preload the entire rack and ship it out ready to deploy. And then this is a little bit more complex type of rack and stack situation. It is truly a UPS 4-post rack that we're looking at here, 9PXM with the extended battery cabinet. And what we have is a pre-wired, pre-configured system that includes all the wiring to the bypass module as well. So all of the interconnection wiring for the entire UPS system, apart from customer input and customer output, is pre-wired, done, ready to go, and tested in our facility. Turnkey power systems on the engineered side, this is a good example of a 9355 30 kVA system. We actually have this deployed out at a runway in Mississippi, and we were told it's backing up the lights on the runway itself. So this is a good example. This is not an enclosure you're going to see in any enclosure manufacturer's catalog. Rather, we developed the design in-house and we contracted an enclosure manufacturer to build it per our specifications. We designed the complete HVAC climate control, which includes airflow management, as well as hydrogen sensing, mitigation. And another unique perspective of this design is that sidewall enclosure, which actually houses a 3-breaker bypass. So if there ever is an instance, we hope not, where the UPS has a major malfunctioning failure and it starts on fire, for instance, we do have the ability to go into complete bypass, remove the UPS even within its enclosure, drop in a new UPS and enclosure, and proceed from there. And then, like I had mentioned, UL 508A is available for the majority of our systems that we're building here, but one unique thing that we do have to offer by leveraging that UL 508A is targeting control panel manufacturers and industrial automation integrators to offer that UPS system that is UL 508A certified, backing up PLC controls. And that way, when we work with those types of customers, they're building their UL 508A control panel, and we can offer our UL 508A UPS enclosure. So as a whole package, that control panel manufacturer or industrial integrator can provide the entire product solution under that same certification, and just makes things go a lot smoother at site when it's time for the inspector or folks going along and reviewing the equipment installations. So just to go over some other project examples, some things that I like to share are this type of project, which is a 4-post, 19-inch rack mount style enclosure. This is outdoor NEMA 4. This is actually at the top of a ski hill in Vermont, backing up the controls to a vaporizer, which that sounds fairly impressive if you ask me. But what I find really cool is the picture on the far right here, which just kind of shows how we approach each of these system designs on the build out portion, which includes all of the power distribution, overcurrent protection means in the circuit breakers, and all of the wiring that is completed in our factories. So customer end user is provided with a single input, single output breaker in this design, and then UPS input, HVAC system, hydrogen sensing, lighting, signaling, all of the accessories and devices that are included with this configured enclosure system are pre-wired, powered up, tested, set points are set, and everything's verified before it ships. One thing I didn't mention earlier was on the bottom of the enclosure here, you can see that it ships on a shock absorbing pallet. So any of the preloaded enclosure systems that we sell, we try to include a shock absorbing pallet wherever we can, and that really just mitigates and cuts down on any sort of shipping damage risks deploying from Minneapolis to wherever they're going. Now, this was definitely at the farther end of our engineering side of that spectrum of services. This was a completely ground up engineered system that we utilized for a mobile medical laboratory project. This system was going to be deployed across the world, and some of the challenges that we had to face were there was never a good source of utility power. Basically, that we were instructed there'd be no shore power in any of the regions which these systems would be deployed. They would include input, we would include input provisions for 2 150 kW generators, and then a third input source for 6 Kubota generators, which could run in parallel. So this critical system was actually driven by 3 sources of generator input, which just tells you how critical the equipment was to maintain that uptime. But we included a 93 PM solution, 100 kW. What we're seeing on this slide are the 2 battery cabinets that support the DC bus on that 93 PM. But what we opted for was a distributed enclosure system, just due to the fact that the end user had a forklift with a capacity of 5,000 pounds. So we couldn't really accomplish this in a shipping container, which might be the easier method to deploy a larger UPS system like this. We had to complete it in a distributed fashion. So the battery cabinets, this is the UPS cabinet, so you can see the 93 PM behind the doors there. We have these small junction boxes on the side of the enclosures, which contain the cam lock connections, which you can see in the background here are our means of interfacing between the switchgear and distribution cabinet to the UPS, and then the UPS to the battery cabinets, and the interconnections between each of those distributed units. This is my favorite part of the build. Like I said, is a switchgear and distribution cabinet. So we're taking those 3 sources. We have a manual transfer switch. We have an automatic transfer switch. We have our UPS interconnection cabinet, which all these cam lock connectors are coming through. And then what we see on the front side is a distribution panel with 20 protected load circuits with pin and sleeve connectors. And what we don't see on the back side is another panel identical with 20 unprotected load circuits, which they utilize to power their mobile HVAC units and things of that nature. So beyond the custom UPS projects that we're building systems for, we do have a really big focus on DC systems. We found that the DC system kind of naturally works with our group because it's typically component type sales, and anytime we can utilize a list of materials, components, and turn them into a turnkey system, we find that's a really great value add for our customers. So the types of DC systems, the applications we're looking for, we like to support utility, telecom, battery energy storage systems. We do have relationships with all of the large players when it comes to battery chargers, whether it be the transformer-based SCR or the rectifier systems, which are modular, scalable, switch mode style power rectification. And then when it comes to batteries, kind of the same story. We're working with all the major players, definitely when it comes to lead acid with VRLA or VLA, but we also have partners in NiCad, lithium iron phosphate, and then newer chemistries that are just coming out to the market. DC systems, like I said, it's kind of tailored to be utilized in our custom solutions group, as we can build indoor or outdoor complete turnkey systems. This is some examples. So these are outdoor switchgear utility type projects. We are partnered with Hindle as a reseller of their products. So one of the things we get to leverage is their seismically rated switchgear utilities enclosure, which a lot of those regeneration plants, transformer plants, those large scale utility customers that have the DC system supporting their critical equipment at those sites, they've standardized on the Hindle enclosures for the most part. So we're able to utilize their enclosure system, put in whatever DC rectification system we need, whatever batteries we need, and do the complete integration at HM Cragg. We also offer utility and standby DC enclosure systems that are HM Cragg designed. So this project was a number of years back when Puerto Rico had those major storms and knocked down their complete grid infrastructure. So we received this project to replace those utility substation huts that the DC systems were historically installed in, with a NEMA 4X 316 stainless steel large NEMA enclosure system. So this was a 6-bay system, front door, rear door configuration, and this system was about 16 feet long, so a rather large enclosure when it comes to NEMA style. But our design utilizes climate control via filter fan system in bay number 1. That's where the power electronics, the old transformer-based tough utility type chargers and disconnect switches will be housed in there. Very temperature tolerant. They create a lot of heat, so we're doing filtered fan climate control through that section. And then in this design, bays 2 through 6 is completely sealed, HVAC controlled, always at 77 degrees. And this one was specifically a wet cell battery string on the inside. So we had provisions for the racking to be mounted. We actually mounted the racking. We did not ship with the batteries installed, as you can imagine. But like I said, 77 degrees is the temperature in the battery bay all the time. We have hydrogen sensing and hydrogen exhaust in these DC systems. And then on the complete opposite side, we are also offering smaller DC systems. So we had a project in Texas for a utility that was upgrading their communications equipment, and they required all of these kind of small cell-esque power systems for their communication equipment. So we deployed about 24, 25 of these systems for that utility in Texas, and it was a Neg 48 DC rectifier system, DIN rail mounted, and 4 high temp pure lead batteries. This one was small enough and maneuverable enough for our customer to utilize their crane system and place this system completely assembled. So batteries shipped, installed, secured down, pre-wired. Really all they had to do was mount this on a pole or a wall wherever it was going, connect input, connect load, and turn it on. We also offer a product line through our Standby Power System Consultants group, which is DC trailers. So think of those applications I just mentioned, where it's utility substations or telecom, cell huts. This is the same application that we're building the solution for, which we'd be targeting with our reseller partners, those end user substation operators and telecom outfits. So we're looking for those folks that own the substations or cell huts. They would purchase a DC trailer like this to be able to maintain the fleet of their substations and cell sites. So what's unique about these trailers is they are completely designed by HM Cragg. We do have supporting bracketry in the floor for underneath the batteries. We have supporting backers in the walls for all the equipment that's mounted. They come in 125 volt, 48 volt, or both voltage configurations for end users that require both voltages, or if they're good with the single 125 or single 48 volt system. So moving beyond UPS DC systems, we could talk a little bit more about the power distribution and accessories that go with those core power quality components. So PDUs, power distribution, our team has gotten very good at identifying which partners we could utilize for panel boards, breakers, transformers, and HM Cragg can actually build and configure the PDUs in-house to support those projects. We're really leveraging the fact that a lot of the PDU manufacturers are very long lead times. So if there's projects where it's a low quantity, but very, very urgent need in terms of lead time, we can take a look at supporting it. Another unique product offering that we're in development is a modular busing system. So HM Cragg does carry a pretty vast inventory of molded case circuit breakers and DIN rail circuit breakers. They're our preferred breaker when it comes to these configured DC and AC UPS systems anyways. So what we've found is there's a manufacturer that has developed a modular bus bar system, which we can order in any phase, any length, any capacity from 30 amps up to 2000 amps, which can accept those molded case circuit breakers and DIN rail breakers, which we're already stocking, which will allow us to have custom configured power distribution, scalability, and modularity that gives us a lot of control over what types of loads we're supporting and unique power configurations. One other thing that we can utilize is the ability to tack on branch and load level circuit monitoring, both on voltage and amperage, as well as being able to create controls around certain non-critical type loads and do active load management, which we found has supported a lot of UPS projects, a lot of DC projects, and excuse me, the big focus is going to be battery energy storage systems, where we have non-critical loads on the system that after a certain duration of battery runtime and power is not coming back on, we can shed those non-critical loads and extend the life of that battery system. This is an engineering drawing of an example project of one of those PDUs. So it just kind of shows this is the breaker architecture that we're utilizing, and shows you kind of that isometric and side view of what those adapters look like that just pop onto the bus bar system. So you can see how very quickly this can become scalable and modular throughout the design phase. And the other thing to mention around this architecture is how dense the power can be. So in the areas where it's those really dark black lines, that is the equivalent of 4 42U or 42 pole panels in a very, very dense footprint. This one's a little bit of an eye chart, but this is what the system would look like fully deployed. via that modular busing system. So again, we're utilizing Eaton's molded case circuit breakers and DIN rail circuit breakers to build out very, very power dense distribution schemes. Bypass, automatic transfer switch, manual transfer switch. Again, this is that opportunity to go a little bit low quantity, more unique type projects. We have a bypass system over here with Kirk key interlocks. And then on the right side, we have a custom automatic transfer switch which we utilized on our front end of a UPS system we had built. And then talking about the additional products. So we went over a lot of the pre-configured turnkey systems, the custom UPS DC systems, the custom power distribution systems, and now we could talk a little bit more about the nuts and bolts we utilize to put our systems together, but we find might be useful for our partners to have access to on just a purely component or product sale. So starting with enclosures and cooling, obviously we are a distributor for Eaton Triplite products. We're exclusive to them, and they have a great rack product with the acquisition of Triplite. So the smart rack system from 12U to 48U, we're leveraging these racks day in and day out. We find their quality very good, and obviously the value is there with the pricing being at a very competitive point. And what is great is just the product availability between HM Cragg and the Triplite warehouses stocking these, so they're very quickly deployable. And then where they're a huge player, we find, is the wall mount rack system. So I think we'd be hard pressed to find a lot of competitors that offer the same value for the price and the amount of availability and configurations that Triplite offers when it comes to the the wall mount and open frame racks. Now we start to get a little bit more application focused, more unique. So IT datacom style industrial enclosures. Again, Triplite is seeing the writing on the wall with deploying power systems and communication to the edge, right? So they have a very unique rack cooling system in 25 and 33 RU configurations, which offers 3.5 kW of cooling integrated into the into the rack system itself. And then we do offer more industrial, kind of think plant manufacturing floor type of enclosure systems, which are modular and with filtration and air cooling if needed. But what everything has in common with these IT datacom style industrial systems is they're for the industrial and outdoor market, but they're utilizing 19, 23-inch racking. They have PDU, vertical bracketry, and cable management in mind. So they're not the traditional control panel or automation type style enclosures. As HM Cragg, we also offer our own frame-based modular design style enclosures. Again, we had talked about the 7 RU up to 42 RU. Those are available in frame-based modular type systems. These are a little bit more expensive, but it also gives you the versatility to have enclosures that can bay together at site, offering again that long-term scalability and modularity. One thing that we really enjoy is having the removable panels when we're doing the assembly. And then again, we've heard from people on site, anytime we need to maintain a power system within an enclosure, it's so much easier if we can just remove the panels and get to the equipment. And then when it comes to custom enclosures, more often than not, we're utilizing unibody construction. So same form factor, however, it is just formed and welded sheet metal to build that unibody construction. Type 12, 3R, 4, 4X, and these come in mild steel, aluminum, stainless steel, all the different materials and finishes that would be required for a project. And again, 7 RU up to 42 RU as standard. And then beyond that, we do have the capabilities to go custom in dimensions, finishes, features, anything of that nature. These are our standard designs that we have built in SolidWorks. Again, just that quick react to quotes and opportunities. 19-inch or 23-inch racking available. And then the depths range from 30 inches deep out to 48 inches deep. And that's directly attributed to how tall the enclosure is. Now, we do offer the traditional electrical enclosure I had mentioned before. We have partnerships with, again, Eaton Triplite with all of their control panel enclosures, wall mount enclosures. But we do have Hoffman, West Tool, and Saginaw that also supports those projects where Eaton Triplite are not a fit. So with all of our enclosed systems, it's not just a box, right? We offer all of the monitoring systems and kind of risk mitigation type of products that go with the enclosures. So there's a whole list here. I won't go through all of them, but we're thinking about these enclosures as a complete system rather than just a metal box to put your equipment in. And then again, we're utilizing these ventilation, airflow, and cooling products for our configured and built systems, but we do know there's opportunities out there where you might be looking for a partner to support you on the component side. So we do have open loop systems, which are filter fan systems, intake filter, exhaust filter. We have side door mount, we have top mount. Those are available in NEMA type 12 all the way up to 4x. And then we also have the closed loop system, which is more typical with our UPS and DC systems just because we need to have that tight temperature tolerance. But what's great about the closed loop system is it's constantly recirculating the interior air inside of these enclosures and not introducing any sort of outdoor hot air or particulates that might be in the air. So if we're looking for a data center type environment for our equipment and we're placing that equipment in the opposite of a data center type environment, closed loop cooling is a great solution for that. And this just kind of illustrates the different types of climate control products we have to offer. We talked about filter fans and air conditioning cooling, direct cooling, but we do have air-to-air exchangers, we have thermoelectric, we have water-to-air, we have vortex. We have a lot of different options when it comes to climate controlling systems. So feel free to reach out with any needs around that type of solution. And then when we lead with Eaton on projects, and there's just a unique application that Eaton doesn't have an offer for. We do have a couple of UPS manufacturers which we can look to utilize. So we have CE+T for our modular industrial UPS. They have a very unique architecture which is very scalable. Again, small building block sizes. We can go from a 10 kW system up to a 1.2 megawatt system utilizing the same products. They can do single phase, split phase, or 3-phase configurations. And what we've found is a kind of cutting edge capability for CE+T is these power systems carry both a UL listing for UPS 1778 as well as carrying the UL listing for energy storage systems, which is 1741 SB. So there's kind of a value sale to be had on this UPS system that can directly inject power back to the grid. And then the kind of last neat bullet point there is they're battery and chemistry agnostic. So as long as you can support them with their DC bus voltage, they don't really care what source it's coming from. It can be lead acid, it could be lithium, it could be hydrogen. As long as it's that DC bus voltage they're looking for, it's compatible. And then beyond that, Lamarche and Primax UPSs, this is the very unique industrial UPS sale, kind of those Amatech type projects where it's true industrial UPSs, and the telltale sign of that is a 480 volt 3-phase input with a 120 volt single phase output. These are all transformer based. They're going to have dedicated inverters, dedicated chargers. and be that truly robust 30-year UPS design. Again, we get to utilize a lot of these fun kind of industrial controls type products for our custom builds, but again, we want to offer this as part of a product offering to our partners. So when it comes to molded case circuit breakers, variable frequency drives, soft starters, HMI, PLCs, push button switches, we get to play around with those and have fun with those in our group, but we do have distributor level pricing on all of those products if you are in need for that one-off sale. We also are supporting legacy Polizzi business. So I'm sure there's a number of you on the call that have no idea what that is, but Polizzi was a manufacturer of rack PDU systems, which really focused heavily on test and instrument type applications that were targeted towards the government and military integrators. So the Northrop Grumman's, Lockheed Martin's, Polizzi kind of service those businesses. So a lot of those products have kind of gone end of life since being acquired, but we still have the archival documentation when it comes to those Polizzi products, and can either build it as HM Cragg or work with our manufacturing partner to redesign and build those historical Polizzi products. And then this is a larger scale of what we were talking about with the NEMA enclosures, but containers and modular data centers. We do have a partner that modifies shipping containers or builds distinct modular data center shells per our designs, and then we bring them to HM Cragg to be integrated with the power systems on the inside. But we're finding these are becoming more and more requested from end users, just trying to pull all the power systems and gray space type power equipment outside of the revenue generating white space area of their facilities. So we found that these eMods, power distribution or UPS modular systems are becoming more and more requested, and we can support you on these projects. And one of the things I like to point out is depending on UPS lead times, we can go from design of a system after PO to delivered project in 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet sized enclosures in about 20 weeks. This is a very quickly deployable system for us. And even at the larger scales, we're pretty nimble with the build outs. This is just kind of a marketing piece we had put together to show off what an example system might look like with 93 PM, their lithium batteries, fire suppression with racking, all in one contained system. And then last couple slides here before I open it up, I just want to touch on HM Cragg's battery energy storage system effort. So we've hired a gentleman, Jordan Winkler, who's come in as our battery energy storage system product manager. And he's supporting our sales channel and our partners with commercial and industrial opportunities to sell lithium iron phosphate energy storage. A lot of good use cases for this are retail or manufacturing, and we're talking about any application from long duration runtime requirements to active power management, peak shaving, things of that nature to help mitigate any sort of surplus charges from the grid or from the utilities during peak hours, and then also, you know, cutting down on just general usage overall. And then the complete other end is being able to sell energy back to the utility utilizing your battery systems. So again, we're offering commercial and industrial type solutions, which can range anywhere from 10 kilowatt hours of storage up to a few megawatt hours of storage in that lithium iron phosphate chemistry. Jordan does have a few offerings when it comes to those prepackaged solutions, which is important in the market today, being that there's very stringent requirements around UL certifications and NFPA requirements. So we do have access as a very well partnered distributor for the products that carry those UL listings. And then to kind of just close it out here on the marketing side, all of these things that we've went over today, all these capabilities, we don't want to gatekeep any of these solutions as strictly HM Cragg only solutions. We want to offer all these capabilities on your behalf. So all of our marketing collateral when it comes to brochures, videos can be, they were designed with the intention to be rebranded. So we can put our partners, reseller logos and name inside of our brochures and have it be offered as our partners' solutions and capabilities. So we have Dan Jackson, who's our marketing manager, who can help out with that. And then the last call here is just contact your HM Cragg sales manager whenever you find any of these unique project opportunities, and they can get the ball rolling and engage with my team to develop that custom solution. So with that, open it up for any questions if anybody has any.
Hey, Kody, this is Paul at Design Power. It looks like a really huge part of your emphasis in CSG is outdoor. Would you say that that's like 80–90% of your business, or is it a little bit more diverse than that?
I would say it's nearing that 80% mark. Obviously, I think we've been very successful in having those outdoor projects brought to us because we feel it's a differentiator from a lot of other integration partners in the industry. So we know there's a lot of people out there that are doing the traditional rack and stacks, and I think there's a little bit more market pressure on those type of solutions. And we've really found a really good utilization of those outdoor systems to be very cost effective and get into the market quickly. So I think that's why we've seen the most success in that specific vein.
Thank you. That's good.
Hey, Kody, this is Gene.
Yeah.
I just want to add on to that comment that although we're doing a lot of outdoor stuff, those outdoor enclosures also present opportunities where we have harsh environments indoors that where a plant floor application or some other water treatment plant where maybe you've got a lot of chemicals in the air where you need to protect the UPS, those solutions can also be offered and used in those type of environments to give you an advantage.
Yeah, that's a good point, Gene. And I tend to categorize all of our NEMA enclosed systems as outdoor, but that's not always the case. To your point, we're utilizing NEMA 12, 3R, 4, 4X in indoor opportunities, like you mentioned, where it's those dusty, dirty, chemically type locations, which categorizes indoor. So to that, I would say we're probably 50-50 when it comes to indoor or outdoor type solutions.
And then Kody, I have a question. When you were talking about the new innovative bus bar for doing power distribution, you mentioned that there was current monitoring that can be done with that?
Yes, so we can do that at top level, at the main circuit breaker level, and that comes with complete power quality monitoring in that level. And then beyond that, we can go to every individual branch breaker and monitor voltage and amperage and power through monitoring equipment that we have for that.
Along with that, do we then assume that Modbus, BACnet, and SNMP are available?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yep.
This is Roger Scheidler with TW Enterprises. Some of the slides I was seeing lead me to believe that you can make docking stations for generator emergency stationary systems. Is that something you guys can do?
That is very true. We can build those, Roger. We're not focused on it, but as you picked up on, all the components for a docking station we've utilized in custom builds. So when it comes to enclosures and the cam locking systems, the breakers, all of that we can put together in a configured docking station as well.
Awesome. Well, next when it comes up, I'll throw it at you and see what you got.
Awesome. Thanks, Roger.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions? Otherwise,
I have a quick question for you, Kody. You want to talk about our ability to integrate other manufacturers' products. We know that Eden is our focus, but should a customer have something else, what we can do for them?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like we talked about, we're exclusive to selling Eaton products. So that's going to be our initial offering, but we know our partners have certain projects where they require some other UPS manufacturer's product to support the project. So what we've done is the customer that we're working with can free issue that equipment to HM Cragg, ship it to us, and we can offer these services utilizing your own equipment to build the enclosure or configured system around that UPS system or DC system that's not Eaton. All right, we can wrap it up here. I appreciate everybody's engagement on the presentation here. Again, if you have any of these projects, feel free to reach out to your sales manager to get the ball rolling. And if you have any specific questions for me, I'm always available to go a little bit more in depth on our capabilities and product offerings. But again, I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining today, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.